Mark Kelso, a former Bill safety, part of the broadcast team as well. All right there, Mr. Kelso. Try to quantify. Let's start with this before we get to the quarterback and the injuries and the suspensions. Try to quantify for us the amount of pressure that Rex really has. Not perceived pressure, but legitimate pressure to change this and get this team to the postseason.
Well, I think they have to move them forward. I mean, you can't control what everybody else is going to do, but you got to win at least 10 games or there's going to be problems, and I don't know. I don't know how deep. I mean, everybody wants to say that there wouldn't be a change if even if that didn't happen. But I would suspect a little bit otherwise. But I don't even. That doesn't really concern me at the moment. I mean, what really concerns me is preparation for the regular season and making sure you keep your guys healthy and making sure you have your whole complement of players and mesh together. I think they've accomplished a lot here in the off season, and they feel pretty good at this point in the preseason. Although it seems like every day something else happens that is not favorable to the team, and certainly that happened this week. But Rex is supremely confident and energetic, and just loves coaching the game and surrounds himself with the coaching staff, I think, that feels the same, and players that enjoy being there, and he always thinks his team's going to win. He always thinks that he has a plan to defeat the opponent. There's no question about that, and quite frankly, I enjoy talking to him when I have that opportunity, which I do regularly during the season.
Oh, we love him as well. He's our favorite Super Bowl interview when he comes around because he's never holding anything back.
No holds barred. There's no question about that. That's right.
Mark, but you talk about the negative things that have happened, that have gone on, and the latest one is Marcell Darius, who will be suspended for the first 4 games. Reggie Ragland, he's gone for the year. Shaq Lawson with the shoulder injury. Is there starting to become not a sense of doom, because that's too foreboding, but a sense of, man, we just can't get a break this offseason?
Well, I mean, there's a little bit of that. I don't think that they're feeling that way. And the Shaq Lawson, I mean, let's address them one at a time real quickly. But Shaq Lawson's situation is a non-issue, I don't think. I mean, he had a minor situation with his shoulder, but as you guys well know, you really have to use your hands, particularly playing outside linebacker. You got to be able to steer that tight end or that offensive tackle if you're going to defend the run. So you've got to have your arms, and you've got to extend them. And guys that use their hands can turn into pretty good players if they have that ability. And I think he has that ability. But you're not going to be able to lift or do the things you need to do to maintain the strength at that position if you have something bothering you in your shoulder. So they fix that. That'll be a non-issue. Although he'll take some time to develop some comfortability with dropping into coverage, which he'll need to do at that outside linebacker position. Manny Lawson seems like he's going to be healthy, but then I don't know what the news about him was. I don't know if that's going to be an issue or not. The Reggie Ragland situation is extremely disappointing. There's no question about that, because he was slated to start at inside linebacker alongside Preston Brown, and had been playing exceptionally well in the preseason, albeit had never played a game, but was really showing well, understood the defense, and seemed like that was going to be a really good compliment to Preston, and those two were working pretty smoothly together inside. So that's hugely disappointing. And then the Darius situation is just, I mean, that just kind of slaps you in the face. I mean, it's, because he's a terrific player, one of, if not the best defensive lineman, at his position, D tackle, nose tackle, occasionally in the league, and certainly a top 5 guy. That you need to have, on your defensive unit if you're going to be successful, and that's really frustrating. It hurts the team. It hurts him personally, but more important to me, it hurts the team and it hurts the organization, and that's never good.
We're talking to Mark Kelso, former Bills safety, part of the broadcast team. So, Mark, this team's coming off 8-8 season. We just ran through a multitude of issues, injuries, suspensions, everything combined here. It's been basically a decade and a half since the Bills made the playoffs. With everything that we've just spoken about, why in the world should we think the Bills are ready to make a run to 10 wins? I don't see it.
Well, because I think they've got a tremendous amount of talent. Now, can they make that talent gel in the locker room and develop the chemistry that they need to function as an entire unit and pull in the same direction? If they can, I think they have an opportunity to do that. I think they've brought some veteran leadership, guys that have been in this league for a long time, understand what you need to do on a daily basis to be successful on Sunday afternoon, and I think they can bring that to the locker room as well. I think a guy like Kyle Williams, who's been there for 11 years, or he's in his 11th year and has played at an extremely high level every one of those years, has taken a little bit more of a vocal leadership role as opposed to just he's really a nonverbal guy and just goes about his business, but has lately taken more of a verbal role and taken some guys and young guys particularly under his wing and trying to give them some instruction about what they need to do to make sure that they have a lengthy career and things work for the best of the organization. And if everybody's pulling in the same direction, they have that opportunity. Now, can they make that happen? I mean, that remains to be seen. But I've seen great, some really good mentor-protege relationships develop into camp with players and older players and younger players and guys with, veteran players and rookie players. And I think that Tyrod Taylor has tremendous leadership ability and is really beginning to take hold of that offensive unit. And if they have the right guys take care of the defensive unit, I think they have an opportunity because they do have an awful lot of talent. It remains to be seen how things are going to unfold with the injury bug that obviously it hits every club. It's how hard it hits your particular club. And then if they can stop doing things that shoot themselves in the foot with the suspensions, then they could be all right. But they have some depth and they have some talent. There's no question about that. If they can put that together, I do think they have an opportunity to improve on what happened last year.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, Mark. And you bring up Tyrod Taylor, and obviously he just had the contract extension, and he seems like he's their guy of the future. I know it has some outs and it has some protections for the Bills should he not pan out, but we believe that, right? You guys up there believe he's the future for the quarterback position with the Bills.
Yeah, I do, and again, he has the ability to do it. I mean, if the guy doesn't have a skill set to do the things that you need to do, and there's probably 7 or 8. I mean, there's more than that, but I would say there's 7 or 8 key things that a quarterback has to be able to do in order to be a quality player in this league, and he's got all of those things. And then, by the way, he's a young man of high character. And he's got really good leadership ability. And I think his number one responsibility is to make the guys around him better. And when you have a guy that has that mentality and can be dynamic at the same time and improvisational because things change and there's sudden change that happens throughout the course of the game that you need to deal with, and you put together that combination and you have a pretty good recipe for success. So I think he's got the tools that he needs. I'm glad that the Bills signed him to the contract extension. Well, it's not an extension. I mean, they kind of ripped up this year and re-signed him to a different number this year, which I think is puts him way down on the list still as far as starting quarterbacks in this league. But I think it was a loyalty effort to say we're going to reward you for what we've seen so far, and we think you're the quarterback of the future. I think he does, and his teammates do, and the coaching staff does as well. And I think people around the league think that he has that ability also. So I think that he will earn every bit of that contract and then open up some bigger money down the road here when he is successful. But I think he's going to make the guys around him better. I think he understands what he needs to do to make this offense function now that he played in it last year. And appreciably, it was his first time he ever really was under center playing behind Joe Flacco all those years. But I think he learned a lot from that. He's made that very clear as well, that Flacco was a very good mentor to him, and he really learned some really good habits and practice habits and things that will make him play better on game day. And I think he'll utilize all those tools to go out and have a really successful season.
Mark, good report. Looking forward to seeing what the Bills have. I think we'll kind of get a decent read first couple of games. Obviously, it's a long season, but I'm curious how they start. Good rundown. Mark Kelso with the Bills.
Interesting. Wait, one more thing, 99. The last playoff was 99. Now, it might have occurred in 2000 calendar year, but it's a 99 season.
Yeah, well, yeah, so it's even longer.
It's even worse. I mean, if you're trying to make a case for the...
Even worse. I think one of our guys one time that was affiliated with the broadcast said, you know what, we just sold this TV. It's been here since I was born, and it has never seen a Bills playoff game.
Oh, that's no good.
16 years, so that's terrible. Huh? But hopefully it'll happen this year.
I got you. Mark, thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate it, man.
Have a good day.
You got it. Mark Kelso, former Bills safety broadcaster, the Bills analyst here.